Eli Manning was asked what the New York Giants should do this offseason. I think you're going to like his answer. We'll talk about that around the corner, but I want you to sound off. What do you think the biggest need for the Giants roster is right now? We got free agency right around the corner. The draft is down the road. Let me know. This is New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am Marshall Green, and Eli Manning was recently asked what he thinks the New York Giants should do at the top of the NFL draft or in free agency to continue to build this team out. And he said this, quote, "I definitely agree that they probably need a true number 2 wide receiver to go with Malik Nabers. Some of the best offenses in the NFL are doing that and are high-powered. I don't know if they need to do that in the draft or it kind of depends on free agency. I wouldn't mind if there's a good free agent receiver that could be that number 2 or kind of that 1B almost to Malik." And Eli Manning, there's a reason that, in my heart, you're a first ballot, unanimous Hall of Famer. You know ball, my man. Yes, they do. This team needs more offensive playmakers. How many times have we said that? You saw Malik Nabers get hurt last year, and the New York Giants, they looked like a practice squad. Bunch of wide receivers out there, with all due respect to Wan'Dale Robinson, who had a heck of a season. There's a reason that you had to sign Isaiah Hodgins off another team's practice squad, and he looked like your second-best wide receiver in the first game that he was here. Let's start off by saying this, because the offseason is going to get tricky for the Giants at wideout. The Darius Slayton contract ruins absolutely everything. He has a $16 million cap hit this year, and he doesn't give you $16 million worth of production. And if you cut him, you save like $700,000. Same if you do trade him. So the best way would be for him to start playing to the best of his ability, which would be the best of his career, because he's never been a $16 million wide receiver. I still can't believe Joe Schoen handed him out that contract. And in a perfect world, Wan'Dale Robinson is going to be re-signed by the Giants on a relatively team-friendly deal. We'll get to that part in a second. You cannot dispute what Wan'Dale did this past year. There's no doubt about it. I'm not going to hide it. I'm not the biggest fan of Wan'Dale Robinson. While I think that he had an extremely productive year and he deserves all the flowers and the biggest contract he can get, he deserves that. I believe his production, and people are going to call me a hater for this, I believe his production this year can be recreated. It can be manufactured in another way. You can duplicate his production by not having to pay him the 25th highest paid contract for wide receivers. Spotrac, they put out contract projections for players, and they think a 4-year, $70 million contract is going to get it done for Wan'Dale. That would make him the 25th highest paid wide receiver. Is Wan'Dale Robinson a top 25 wide receiver? I don't think it's fair to say yes. Is Wan'Dale Robinson a top 32 wide receiver? I don't think so. I do think he's a top 64 wide receiver, and I think he would be a solid wide receiver too. But due to, and God bless him, the genes that he got from God, at 5'8", he is limited, and he is a slot guy. And I think a bright offensive mind can scheme open a slot receiver. And a lot of times we saw Wan'Dale Robinson catch the ball wide open for a couple of different reasons. One being schemed open, but 2 being that he got open. Wan'Dale is a good player. The Giants need more than just Wan'Dale Robinson at wide receiver to come back. If you come back this season and your top 3 receivers are Wan'Dale Robinson, Malik Nabers, and Darius Slayton, that's a problem. You cannot have that. Ideally, you bring back Wan'Dale Robinson and you could somehow get off of that Darius Slayton contract, and then you draft another receiver high or pay one. But it can't be the top 3 is Darius Slayton. The Darius Slayton contract is going to end, I believe, Wan'Dale Robinson's career with the Giants. And that's unfortunate. There's a world he's back. I can't see the New York Giants paying him $70 million. If they do, $70 million to him, what was it, $40 million to Darius Slayton, and then you're going to give what? Malik Nabers $120 million next offseason? Like, come on, man. You don't have that many draft picks either, and that's a problem as well. I don't regret, and obviously we all love Jaxson Dart, but you don't have that third-round pick. And I would trade a third-round pick for Jaxson Dart every day of the week. But it is a thing that you're going to have to overcome. One less premium draft pick. You have 2 picks inside the top 104. It's not great. So the Giants are going to have to get creative for how they're going to improve this wide receiver room. One that needs improving. And bringing back Wan'Dale Robinson alone is not enough. So we're going to take a look at the top free agent wide receivers. We're going to take a look at the top draft wide receivers coming up in a second. But with St. Patty's Day right around the corner, I talked to my guys here at Chat Sports and said, we need a New York Giants now, St. Patty's Day shirt. You can get yours today at this link, chatsports.com/GiantsGreen. It's chatsports.com/GiantsGreen. Wear this so you don't get pinched, so you can rep New York Giants now, and you could be a part of the New York Giants Now drinking team. Get yours today, chatsports.com/GiantsGreen. I have this ingrained in my memory, my brain. The New York Giants are a Malik Nabers injury away from wide receiver hell. I think I said that 5,000 times in the summer last year, and he got hurt, and they were in wide receiver hell. It cannot be Malik Nabers or bust again at wide receiver. And I'm sorry, bringing back Wan'Dale Robinson and not making any other additional moves, you are in Malik Nabers or bust territory. Because respectfully, we saw what you were with Wan'Dale Robinson as a wide receiver 1, as an offense, and it's something that I don't ever really want to be again. Eli Manning also said this to sportsboom.us. Should have gave them credit off the top of the show. And I thought this one was really interesting. But the guy, talking about another receiver, but the guy who could, for Nabers to be kind of that veteran guy who's had success and knows what to do and how to get open. And just kind of some of those little nuances to be an elite receiver. I think that would be helpful for him. Has Eli Manning been watching New York Giants Now by Chat Sports? Because how many times did I say after Malik Nabers got drafted in 2024, the Giants need a veteran in the room? The Giants need a proven wide receiver in the room. One that can show him how to watch film. One that can hold him accountable. One that someone can be kind of a big brother for him. It's obvious what you're supposed to do when you add a player like Malik Nabers. You need someone to show him the ropes. And I'm sorry, Darius Slayton ain't that guy. So miss me with Marsh. That's why we brought back Darius Slayton. You didn't pay Darius Slayton $36 million to be the wide receiver coach. You paid him to be productive. And now you need a guy that's productive and can do that. Because we've seen, and I love Malik Nabers, it's been a Malik Nabers summer camp with the New York Giants the last 2 years. He's gotten to do whatever he's wanted, whenever he's wanted, and it ain't going to be like that anymore. And I think he could use a veteran in the room. So you look at free agency. And I'm going to be honest, I don't know who this guy is. Maybe it's Mike Evans for a year or two, but I think it's pretty clear that his best days are behind him. I don't think the Giants are going to give George Pickens $32 million. Deebo Samuel, not really interested in that. Jawan Jennings, not really the guy I'm looking at. Alec Pierce, I'm really interested in him. I don't know if Alec Pierce is going to be able to be kind of a big brother or mentor for Malik Nabers. None of these guys are. But I would be interested in Alec Pierce. I would be interested in Romeo Doubs. And if you have to let Wan'Dale Robinson walk, I don't mind paying a guy like Christian Kirk. Well, I don't think he's going to get a lot of money, but a veteran that can play in the slot and maybe somebody that Malik Nabers can learn from. Like, it's going to be tough to pay 17 Wan'Dale Robinson $70 million and have a $16 million cap hit for Darius Slayton this year and go out and pay another top free agent wide receiver. That's why I just continue to say it. The 86 contract is a hurdle that the Giants are going to have to try to find a way to clear, because right now it is lowering the floor of who they can be when it comes to weapons. So you look into the NFL draft. Mel Kiper Jr. has ranked his top 10 wide receivers. Carnell Tate out of Ohio State. Look, if you want to really fix that wide receiver problem, you go get Carnell Tate or Jordan Tyson at number 5. I don't know if either are worthy of the number 5 pick, but you know what? You can only pick from who's available, and they are. I like Mekhi Lemon a lot. I think 5's a little bit early. Then you get to maybe some round 2 guys in Denzel Boston, Malachi Fields, Chris Brazzell at Tennessee, a big play threat. I love Zachariah Branch. I love KC Concepcion. Then you have other guys like Bernard from Alabama. Chris Bell's a good player. What about one of the wide receivers from Indiana? I thought Surratt was a beast. I really like Omar Cooper Jr. It's a deep wide receiver class, and maybe in round 2 or round 4, you can get a guy that plays right away. This offense needs more playmakers. It can't just be we're going to give Malik Nabers 130 targets next year. You're an easy offense to stop if you do that. How about, crazy idea here, you get another guy that can command a double team. You get another guy that shows up on scouting reports when teams are scouting you saying, we can't let that guy beat us. Because you really only got one of those guys right now. And you want as many as possible. It's time to max out that Dart rookie contract window. He'll never be cheaper. He will never have a cheaper contract. It is never going to be easier to build a team and spend money while Jaxson Dart is a Giant than now. Because next year he gets more expensive, and then next year he gets more expensive, and the next year he gets more expensive. He should be playing with the most talent around him this year and next year. It's time to figure it out and start spending like the good teams do, which means using the future cap, because the cap's going to continue to go up. So factor that in to how you're going to go and spend. What will they do at wide receiver? Eli Manning wants a wide receiver too. It's weird that he would say that, and Wan'Dale Robinson's on the team when I said all year long Wan'Dale Robinson's not that guy, and I got criticized by every single person that watches this show. I don't hate Wan'Dale Robinson. I just don't want my wide receiver 2 to be a 5'8" slot guy.